我那那呀，我努那也努种了，努那我被家人车影响的，被叫谁的xử lý ya mà mình Minnesota ya mà mình USA เลยตอนนั้นเราจำบัวตัวกล่องยันนั่งเชียจำบัวไปไว้เขา training ว่าอะไรเกิดจากว่าMinnesota State Law ที่เกี่ยวว่าไว้ตัวบัวเราชี้ตัวบัวเรา director ไปจะขอ role ที่ responsibility ยอดลิจานะเบียgiờ nó nói bé và cho tao George Adam thì ni bé sẽ đợi những bao luôn rồi ta chỉ mà lựa tao bao bé giờ nó chỉ là đợi tụi thiếu thì giờ đọc từ nâng giống thì giờ tụi tin lòng được bé sẽ đợi tụi này tụi xin bé sẽ đợi thế này cũng dùng xe giờ nó và bé và ở trên này và cũng sao bé bắt tay cho và George Adam thế đọc từ nâng giống cái nó cái tăng cái lúc sợ muốn dùng cái sẽ chỉnhตัวba cho kia bé sẽ đợi nè chỉ mua chỉ mua cú sa cái bé sẽ đầu với họ introduction George Adam thì bảo bé sẽ đầu thế so biết cũng vấn đề đó là ý trong gì cũng trả tổng ya cũng ya năng chế từ secretary
那种不要破分称，不要让人切肚皮啊。
我ต้องการสัญญาลุงไปรัวหัวไทยต้องการไทยยาแต่ที่เป้าหมายยาหัดเกียรติยาตัวการว่าแกเขาว่าเขาเชิญเนี่ยเขายังเชื่อ
อย่างbây giờ trả công gia bây giờ trả công gia theo mình rồi chợ bây giờ trả trả lo cái này
You with Yanning Chella?
yeah
bây giờ tao hỏi ya, bây giờ tụi treasure, one of the treasures.
bây giờ nên dùng ya để sẽ được bóc rồi
nhìn nhá nó sợ gió cũng bây giờ ba đi sinh ra cứ yên tự đi phim là bây giờ như thế
Hello, Nan. 我找你是李总长当天我 George, thank you very much. 因为我因为 thank you for being here. 现在我也是可能我也对的话the president 会也被这个杨明杰 thank you.
这个是说农学总经理说的，被我念不了呀，我讲要我们那个时候也做一个 director 也叫。
thì chỉ muốn nói là bé welcome George Adam là có học background về đạo nên chờ đạo sức khỏe nhưng sau test rồi bé sẽ đợi thế bé sẽ đợi nhưng bao thì có thể từ George nhớ đâu Ramsey County về cũng welcome có tôi có lọ hoặc thuần rồi bé thì lấy hoặc cho nè chào có lọ
Thank you. Thì trên cho đi thì cô học back bio thì email sẽ được.
yeah
Okay. Thì chỗ này bao cũng lại cũng bên không giờ và bên họ chạy nó thì dục quan này thì mua mấy tụi mình chui chạy nữa này thì cũng bên lò thì chui chạy cái gì mà có hậu thì cũng sẽ Adam sức tập họ thì và download qua mấy cái thì có sử dụng chạy thì cũng bên là che nó chạy nó thì từ che từ chạy nó thì từ chừng mỗi dùng khai nó theo lúc bên chuyển cái này chỉ dùng lọt thì đôi dùng nó mất thua một thua lại cũng thì okay that's fine mất nó Adam cú có presentation nó thì cú thảo luận bylaws mà ta đi cú nên một bên lúc còn có là bây giờ nhưng mà mình USA USA là Minnesota Minnesota
Yeah. Which part of the US?
yeah lấy cho tôi cái chờ bé lúc còn hậu tôi thế mà ya mà mình USA lấy cho tôi
okay thì nhưng mà mình USA mà thuộc cú mình được chính trong một thế tại vì thuộc thông giờ term bên mà nó đặt bylaws color thì cú chụp bao thì tới rồi cú sát thì thuộc trái những trái những after thông giờ thì trái những tại thì cha thì cú sát thì tới rồi đặt bylaws thì lấy cho thông thế mà lấy đặt bylaws thì tiếp cú thuộc thông giờ thì take over thì call ở đây cú thảo luận đặt bylaws nè you guys need the articles of incorporation ni mo ta ba I am assuming that ni mo la 好像那什么我们那个共好说的
Yeah.
it's just
Pay
registration
more.
with the Secretary of State 那more they
Yeah.
so that's important. The second thing is how to think make sure that your nonprofit status is current. 那好 nonprofit status 呢here the government USA 去多那个 which part the government USA 那好 nonprofit status for current 然后到不包嘛头 short term 我们了这里了去 file 了叫 necessary 1090 呢 1090 the tax paper. So I think the government USA's tax non-profit tax exempt status is revoked. 不到差了查过了，我考那差了个，差的差么点，了一顿人file the paperwork so that non-profit status will be reinstated as you call. So my question is, Minnesota tax exempt status current or revoked?
It's current.
Current.
It's current, but they haven't filed taxes for the last 3 years. So
Okay.
which means that it's subject to revocation anytime soon, but we're gonna file it, so it doesn't
Alright.
happen.
亚宁确定。
I'm sure it's
Pay,
current.
pay, pay active.
Last May.
Okay. If you're not current, you are on the board, right? Board of one or more organizations, right? Be aware, you can be sued. Okay? Now, it is your responsibility as a board member to make sure that you follow the bylaws. If you're not current, any member in your organization can sue you. Has that happened? No. Okay, we should have bought it. 俾到phone呢，俾到 member phone 俾咁講好，就要government USA、government Minnesota、18 council 啦，whatever，到好啲。It takes money to sue somebody. It really takes time to sue an organization. Typically, they just go to the AG, the Attorney General's office, and file a complaint. And then Attorney General's office will investigate. The more generally, the Attorney General will talk to the organization, will find out what's going on. The more after investigation, and the Attorney General should phone investigate and file a lawsuit. The AG will file a lawsuit against the organization. Lao Family Foundation was a big thing because the AG was involved. Okay? 但是從到government Minnesota、government USA，人哋車比較共好，嗱啲古英知道嗱啲。One, AG has, the Attorney General has investigated any organization, any of the three, or has filed any complaint against any of the three, or any of the members has filed any complaint against any of the three. You are subject to lawsuit if you do not follow the bylaws. Because if you don't follow the bylaws, then you shouldn't be on the board. Okay? So you must do your job, you must follow the bylaws. Now, any question? You have two more questions, I'll just ask. Okay? I want you to ask me so I can help you. A bylaw is not the best way to do it is legal it just take a bylaw, one bylaws like this and we just go over it. We go line by line. That's the best way for me to teach you guys, or to show you guys how to get it done properly. Because bylaws is up to you, the organization, how you want to structure the local hall. Okay, you can structure it any way. You can just have 3 members, that's fine. And you can vote by majority, that's fine. You don't need to have members. You can, however you collect the dues, it's however, as long as you put in your bylaws, make sure that the bylaws are clear. Once you have your bylaws, you must follow the bylaws, okay? So you can have a bylaws that is just 1 page, that's fine. You can have a bylaws that is 100 pages. That's fine. All that bylaws contains all the rules and regulations on how you run your organization. But once you have it, you must follow it. I'm going to give an example. กูฐานะเตจีเตยอหายจุดเบย์ but 18 council is a problem. Okay, 18 council looks at the bylaws. Okay, I want to tell you guys that right now, and that's why you have a ring in Minnesota, right? You pay to Representative Bruce Yang, Yahoo 18 council now. He needs to update you guys. What's going on with the 18 council? Because if they sue him, okay, if they sue him or AG complains, AG investigates, and then, you know, if I'm not, well, I saw examples up, if he is a problem creator, it's gonna come back to you, yeah, but I'm in Minnesota, because in your bylaws, you talk about the client representative to 18 council, okay? So that's how something happens with 18 council, but you could end up being in trouble. Yamaming, Minnesota could end up being in trouble because your representative is not doing his or her job. So the purpose of the bylaws is the rules and regulations. You can structure it, however, but once you have it down, you must follow it. Okay. 我还闹但是估计有黑内呢。Or to scare you, but that is the reality. I have seen going bought their organizations when they have millions of dollars, their lawsuits. Board of directors get sued. People sue board of directors. That's because they got money, millions and millions of dollars. I don't know how much you have. I don't know how much you have. Yeah, I mean, USA has some money. I know, but yeah, to turn the city. La phong store chứ nè. La phong store nhiều lo ya te kusa ka te for example nhiều bề which is like nhiều bề họ lúc còn họ là he's a problem creator kusa ka ya tại đi. I can sue the organization to have him kicked out. But who's gonna back me up on that, right? So these are tiny little problems that the time and the money to bring a lawsuit for any of these problems is not worth it. Okay? So just be aware that please take the role seriously. Yes.
How accessible are the bylaws? How easily accessible are the bylaws?
It should.
Like, do we have ours in a webpage somewhere that people can look at?
Yeah. Well, and it should be. It should be now. So if it's not, then your organization needs to make it readily available to do something online. Okay. So that's a public document. Your members should be able to see it. Okay. Yeah, then you make a copy for every member. Okay, but you have to have a system of keeping things in place. And I mentioned 18 council because I know that one, in terms of running an organization, you need to know how to run an organization. Okay, that's important. So I will and get Michael or William. You know anyone else? The Robert's rule of a nonprofit running a nonprofit. So Sinejong can be one of your trainers. And you all who's here may not need it, but every member, whether it's an officer, it's a board member, you need to know how your organization is going to be run. Whether you're going to follow the Robert's rules, and that's the typical rules in terms of the president. What does the chair do? What does the vice president do at a board meeting? Who can make motions? Who cannot make motions? You need to know all this. So the problem is, it may not be you who's here, but it could be that someone who's in your organization that doesn't know the rules, how to run an organization. So there needs to be trainings. There's a lot of trainings available. Jin Jean, Michael, William. There's a non-profit organization. The new office to University to Western. No, University and Dale. That non-profit organization provides trainings to anybody who wants to be trained in nonprofits. Okay. Any question about that? And then we can go into the bylaws, the Young Maine Minnesota Association's bylaws. Equal hire. The best way to train you guys on bylaws is you just have to take one and just go by. There's no better way to handle this. Especially if you guys want to do it differently, let me know. If you want to jump to a particular paragraph, pick Usman. Okay. So this is for me interacting with you, for me to answer questions, concerns that you guys have. But a couple points in terms of bylaws. Nate, those of you guys have read this, right? Yeah. You guys understand everything that's on here? If not, it should be changed, okay? Any paragraph that you don't understand, that needs to be changed so that you all can understand it. It needs to be understandable. It needs to be clear. One paragraph cannot contradict another, okay? It cannot be inconsistent. And you just have to make sure that you use the right terminologies. For example, elect, just pointing out, there's a reference to Vice President-elect. This is Maine, Minnesota. There's a section here references the Vice President-elect, but the Vice President isn't elect, he's appointed by the President, by the chair. So that means you can't use the word Vice President-elect. You have to use appointed. Elected, appointed, two different things. You all know that. Whoever did this did a good job. That bylaw is not usual, she talked in short term, but it's just wordy. It's kind of wordy, inconsistent. A lot of non-necessary paragraphs and languages in here. I mean, that's not. Let's make it better. That's what we're here for.
No question.
Yes.
So, who changed the bylaw? Is it the whole group or just certain individual?
And that's a very good question. It depends what the bylaw says. Bylaws. Let's just say amendment. Okay. Who can amend the bylaws? So let's turn to Maine, Minnesota's paragraph that talks about amendment. So, since you asked, I will just point. It's the last page, page 11. Page 11, Article 15. Yeah, amendments. The last page. Article 15. Amendments. It says these bylaws may be amended, altered, repealed, or added to when necessary by a 2/3, that's 2/3, the number 2/3, majority of the board of directors. Proposed amendments must be submitted to the secretary to be sent out with regular board announcements. So to answer your question, amendments, paragraph number, anybody can ask to amend any paragraph. Okay, anybody can ask to amend any paragraph in the bylaws. As long as, one, the secretary sends out the request, the paragraph, whatever it is that there's a change. And the board, there's a board meeting. It doesn't say at which board meeting, it just says a board meeting and 2/3 of the board of directors. Yeah, now, the couple who do a couple questions, a couple concerns about this because this is kind of broad. So for me, it's when at what board meeting? Is it the annual board meeting or is it at any board meeting? If you want to be clear, go clear the thought. And then the secretary to be sent out with regular board announcements. Okay, how many weeks? And then 2/3 majority of the board of directors. So 2/3 majority of the board of directors. So what is the quorum? How many do you have to have present to carry out the meeting? So for example, beside the G to board now. Okay, G to board. If the bylaw says you only need a majority, which means you need 8 of the 15, in order for the meeting to take place. But if you need a 2/3 quorum, then you have to say what's 2/3 of 15? That's 10. So you need 10 people to be present in order for that meeting to take place. So you have to be careful about what quorum. Quorum is the number that you to walk a little meeting. So this one doesn't say that. So just be clear if you can, but then need to clear the day. There's going to be arguments. Okay. Try to limit. The board meetings are awesome, and so it's precious time. It's precious time for everybody to be coming on a weekend. Organizations meeting on weekends. We don't meet during the weekdays. Make out your non-profits who don't care about big meetings on the weekday. Those not okay. Weekday and during lunch, or you have to set a time, like say from 2:30 to 4:30, 2:30 to 4:30 on a Thursday. And you have to make the commitment. Whatever you're doing, you have to take that time off to attend that meeting. So when we do it on the weekends, Saturdays or Sundays, I know your dad is very busy. Busy though, Facebook that is it. So just know that, okay? Dad as in your wife's dad, no one who I'm talking about. Okay, good question. Don't you have to jump in, okay? This is what I'm here for, is to help you guys out. There's more on the let me just point out some things here, okay? And you have to decide, hey, Judge, let's do Adam, let's do a different way. Please let me know. Bylaws, the best way to do it is just go line by line. So, okay. And decide you want to do something differently, just let me know. Okay. Now, section 2. So this is your bylaws.
Yeah, we have.
Okay. USA 好啦。
It's 走唔住啫。
Okay. How different is it?
I think it's just the logo is different. The logo.
Okay.
I think USA have the United States at the center, right? Minnesota just have the state of Minnesota.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
And the description of the name.
Okay, done.
They can change it.
Yeah.
They're gonna change the logo, and they're gonna eliminate the states in the United States. They just can have a heart, isn't it? So Yavaming USA is gonna change that.
Okay. Are you with Yavaming USA?
No.
No.
Oh, I'm in Minnesota.
Oh, you're with Yavaming USA.
Near VP.
Oh.
Yeah, Yavaming.
Okay. So Yavaming Minnesota, or did you say Yavaming USA is gonna change the logo?
The DP changed that.
Okay.
They eliminated they took out the United States.
Okay.
And they just have the heart itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I assume you're
I
gonna
don't
fix
think
yours.
it's going to change.
Okay.
Not anytime soon.
Okay. Section 1, Yavaming. Oh, I want to go back to section 1, article 1, article 1, section 1. The name of the corporation shall be Yamamin Minnesota Association of Minnesota, Inc. You know, what I recommend is just do this. After Inc. now, after the Inc., just go like this. Just put parentheses Y, W, sorry, M, A, dash, M, N. So you eliminate all those. The words got you need law for the association, for the corporation, or corporation.
Yeah.
Okay, your parentheses good. And I'm just pick a comment or pick a young just because we have the bylaws, okay?
Yeah.
So just I'm not meaning to pick it.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, section 1, article 2. Okay, nonprofit. Have you guys thought about 501c4? Nè all of con hồ shi. Okay, kuno na. Lu chế na chính này lu chế na có lu lọc. Okay. I often see ku bỏ mà ku cho bỏ Facebook nè, bỏ Facebook yam to President USA President and also yam Minnesota too. The president showing up at political events. Okay, you cannot do that. For example, Winona has a fundraiser. You cannot be there. Okay, you come move the shina, the paper there, to do such on the paper there. Okay, it's Yamaman USA. To do compare some the paper there, that's 18 council. Okay, because they are the faces of those organizations. Got to move, got to you can move, got to say. Don't mention anything. So I ilo to Yamaman USA. So I ilo to go home 18 council. I think it's okay, but the minute come got to vice president or got to PR or to treasurer, you are bringing the organization. As a 501c3, you cannot participate in any political event. Okay. So, Facebook for Winona, May, Lower, Republican, Democrat, judges, okay, judicial. You cannot do that. You cannot participate. If you are a 501c3, you cannot participate in any of those events whatsoever. For example, because we as judges, we are to be independent. We're not Republican, we're not Democrat. When on a more event, Wichita, I can't. My presence at Winona's fundraiser is an indication of my support. Same thing with Senator Von Herb. Same thing with May Lord. You guys don't see me at any of the events with any political candidate, politician. You don't see me there. That's because my presence itself is, some people will say it's support up, and it's probably true. That's why you need go back to your presidents, your vice presidents, and say, don't show up. You have to show up, only him, okay? You don't have the VP with them, don't have the VP, the treasurer, the secretary. Because if you have 2 or more people, they're gonna think. That she norma Gusto they want to complain, someone to complain, oh yeah, but Maine USA is participating in this political event, just being on the stage. Even did you high law, so let's just say Senator Hurd's here, Zhong's here, his VP, his treasurer is here, they're all standing next to him. You are supporting this political candidate. You cannot do that. You are a 501c3. Okay? So be very careful about that. It is your responsibility. You see something, say something. If you don't, it is upon you that you are also participating in whatever the wrongdoing the VP or the president is doing. So you must make sure that you see something, you say something. Concerned, you know what? No one's going to the IRS and say, yeah, but I'm in Minnesota, a 501c3 is participating in this political event. If you do that, you're a 501c4. Okay? So if you want to be endorsing candidates, whether judges, state level, federal level, whatsoever, you need to be a 501c4. That's a political organization. So just be aware of that. Okay?
Cũng có question.
Yes.
Yeah, the participate to political events like na. We know had the nearly yeah the lemu participate na bia e kha chao the ya la china.
So they take away your 501c3 status. Yeah.
Okay.
So then you become a C4, and then C4 under the IRS, it's a different. You don't get that nonprofit status. Okay. You don't get that nonprofit status.
Nyanda stay le you chi blow you penalty as well.
Chibua.
Okay.
Chibua. But what the AG, if somebody complains, so there's an investigation, IRS says, okay, you have been participating, you're not a C3 anymore, you're a C4. So then your C3 gets revoked, they take away your C3. Then you have to apply to get C4. The AG can investigate, the Attorney General Office can investigate. And then if you apply again, you may not get to be an organization because you violate the rules. Okay.
I have a question too.
Yes.
What if, for example, go away call event or like getting chair, and then they come to those events, is that an issue?
You should not invite them. You invite ce genre pour ça, tu vas toi dans Pékin.
Oh no, sorry, who had a politician at all? Like if they come to your event, is that different?
If no, but it is a young chair event, right?
Right, like for example,
Yeah. Did you invite them? Don't invite them.
Don't invite them.
Don't invite them.
What if they just come themselves? They
Yeah.
hear about it, they come themselves.
有你多嚟嘅要係 stop 嘅，
Oh,
佢始終我哋佢個自己多咁唔正啊，
Right.
落嚟咪始終講係，so 有啲多嚟嘅 there's nothing you can really do.
So the like one is nearly example the nearly chair host event ne bé và bé cho chỉ tao và đi sang phòng hậu được tuần chuẩn bé na bia.
You can't.
Okay.
You can't. Unless. Let me take that back a bit. Okay. I want to say be careful when it's an election year. Okay. Be careful when it's an election year. So, for example, this year now, all the state reps are up for election.
Yeah.
So, if Yanning Chia has an event and Joe, not Susan, but Joe say Samantha Bang, okay, that you are inviting a good Joe to political toilet. You can't do that, okay? But Senator He, this is not an election year for Senator He. So if you got your Senator He tour, I think it's okay. Okay, because he's there to talk about a subject. But you need to be specific now. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I want you to be, you tell me what I need to talk about, what you want me to talk about, what you want me to educate you. Big politicians, I'm the first, I did this, I'm the first elected to be this part of town, I did this, I passed all these laws. You know, but if you got the authority, you want them to come talk about a specific thing. Call it to educate, okay, not just talk about the, unless you want to. That's fine. But every event, they always talk about themselves and what they did. Okay, that's okay if that's what you want. Actually, you got to be specific about what it is, cause subject, cause sakal. So in that case, got your Senator Ho, it's not an election. So got your talk the Senator Ho, you got to be subject. No, okay, that's fine. So I think that's a very good question. So don't participate in any political event. Just make sure those are one. It's not political. It's not raising money. And I mean, and that person is not running that year. Okay, for example, Trump is running this year, but Trump could be holding fundraiser last year, right, 2023, right? Samantha is running this year. In 2023, she did not hold. I don't think Samantha held any fundraiser last year. So if Trump it's not an election year, but is holding a political event to raise money, then as a nonprofit, you cannot participate. Okay? So you have to just know that if it's a political event where it's fundraising or to endorse or help any candidate, don't. Okay, awesome.